right.
Okay, so what we're going to learn, the next lesson is a different type of a chord. All the chords that we've learned so far have been the major chord. So this time we're going to learn a dominant seventh. And a lot of times we just forget the word dominant part when we're talking about it, and we'll just call it a seventh. So if anytime a country music musician or a gospel musician says play a seventh chord, what they're saying is add the seventh note, actually add the flatted seventh note of the scale to the chord. So if you're in G, remember the scale is, okay, that's the seventh note. But if you're going to play a dominant seventh chord, you don't add the seventh note, you add the flat seventh. You add the one just below the seventh note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I'm going to play a dominant seventh chord, I'll add an F if I'm in G. And you can hear what happens. And that's called a passing chord. You use it to signal to the listener that you're going to change to a 4 chord. Like if you listen to this, if I play a G note and then I play this, it just follows that the next chord has to be C. So that's why we call it a passing chord. If you're going to switch from a G to a C, you don't have to, but it's nice to play a G seventh right before you switch to C. If you're in C and you play a C seventh, which sounds like this, the next chord has to be an F. There's an old story about Beethoven that he had a neighbor who was a hacker of a musician, and every night the neighbor would play, and he would always, his last note, he would always go and get up and leave. And it would just drive Beethoven nuts. And maybe that's why he lost his hearing. But it's a passing chord, which means you have to resolve to another chord. And it has to be the 4 chord of whatever you play the seventh in. So if I'm in D and I play a D7, then my next chord has to be a G. So let's see what that would be like in What a Friend We Have in Jesus if I'm in G. What a friend we have in Jesus. I can't use it here because I'm not going to the 4. Our sins. I can't do it here because I'm not going to C. But I can now. Because while I was in D, my next chord is going to be a G, which is the 4 of D. Okay, because I'm going to the 4th chord of the D chord, I can use the 7th again. So if I think about it again, what a friend we have in Jesus. Our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry. Everything to God in prayer. So it just adds color. So that was the next lesson, and you can stop your video. It's the dominant